Good afternoon, everyone. Jason here. Today is October 15th, and this is your aftermarket update. All right, we had a nice day here. We had really just two trades this morning. One was a small winning trade, and then it came back, stopped us out for a small gain. Market rotates around our original entry, and then we jump back on board and end up with a very nice 30-tick opportunity. Could have been a little bit better, and I'll show you how we got just kind of tagged out before it finishes up the move. But again, a nice 30-tick trade. We just with the two trades times two lots here today. So let's take a look here really quickly at the oil market. Market gaps open in the overnight session up to 72.70. There are some geopolitical tensions between the U.S. and Saudi Arabia right now surrounding a missing journalist, and so there has been some tweets and some things back and forth that has caused the market, at least in the overnight session, to kind of open up a little bit jittery and jumpy. As we head into the London session, the market comes down, makes a low. This blue line right here, horizontal line, represents settlement, the settlement price from Friday's trade. And so one of the things that you look at here as you head into the open, and there is the open, right, when these levels form up, almost 99% of the volume was traded in the overnight session above settlement, right? You did have this area that did come down and tag it, but it was only down there for just a moment. And if you look here at your profile chart, settlement was down here. Ignore most of these TPOs because essentially as we were getting into the open, your profile looked about like this. It's not quite like this, but just about like this, where most of the volume was above settlement. So one of the things that we talk about in here is that if the market opens up in the overnight session and spends a bunch of time above settlement or below settlement, then you would be looking, like in this case, above settlement, you'd be looking for a sell-off down into settlement. And if it was trading below settlement, then you'd be looking for a potential corrective rally into settlement. Now, if that doesn't happen, that tells you a whole bunch of things all by itself. But for today's purposes, that is something that we were looking at as the market opened up. We thought that the market might be heading down to settlement. But we also know that we are in the beginning of contract rollover week that typically gives a tendency for the market to be a little choppy and a little sluggish as volume is being traded over two contracts and being split out over two contracts. So as the market opened up today, we were looking at this kind of range that the market was in, and we were talking about how, while I would like to be short maybe off this structure mid, I was going to sit on my hands and kind of take a look and see what we did around settlement. The market comes down in through our structure signal and then down through settlement. And then we were talking about what it would do if it made a new low. And basically what we were talking about is that as the market sold off down to here and then takes out settlement and goes a little deeper, that we would be looking for a pullback into settlement to look to get short. And then we would be looking to take it down into at least this area here, which is your structure target, and then possibly even a little bit deeper if the market was really beginning the process of humming. So the market comes down, goes through that low and begins that process, comes back into settlement, and then comes all the way down really into the two ticks off of your structure target. And that is exactly what we were looking for today. Market on one of these pullbacks grabs me at basically at 30 ticks before it comes down and finishes here. So I got stopped out at 04 on the trail stop, and the market comes down another 19 ticks right down in front of what we were looking at as our target. So you can tell that it came down here right around 9 o'clock. So we were only in the market about an hour today. We picked up 30 ticks on the CL. It is Monday, and it was contract rollover week. And so from our perspective, we wanted to start the week out on a good foot. We have had 9 out of the last 10 days have been winning days. And so it felt good to get in here on a Monday and take a look at the market and get that trade that we were looking for and get in and get out. And so the trade of the day video, like we always do, I'm going to show you where we get into the market. I'm going to show you how we manage our stops, where the stop placement is. And then once we get into that trade, I cut it down into bite-sized chunks, pieces, if you will, and then put a little music behind it, speed it up, and then show you where it is that we got out. That's the way that we do it, and that's what we're going to look at here on the trade. So Having said all of that, again, we're on a 9 out of last 10-day win streak. It's been a really nice run here. We hope to continue it again, of course, into tomorrow. But for now, I'm going to let you watch this OTG trade of the day. I am in at 34 short. Stop. The stop will be 44, and the target is 83 underneath.